Okay, hello beautiful Virgo people. My name is Jessica from Prospect Park Tarot, and I'm here to deliver to you your monthly reading for the month of September 2020. If you are familiar with my channel, welcome back and thank you so much for being here with me. If you are new, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really appreciate it. But if you are familiar with the way in which I read cards, we're going to switch it up a little bit this time, right? We're going to start with an oracle card, kind of just to set the stage, set the tone for the reading. And then we're going to jump right into your 9-card spread. And this is going to be a general reading for anything that you may need to be aware of this month, any advice that you need, or any support or heads up that you may need. We're going to uncover all of that in this video, but we're going to start with this oracle card. But before we do that, we're going to start with our prayer, of course, right? All right, so thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you so much, God, for using me as a vessel to transmit those messages that you believe the Virgo people should be receiving at this time. I ask for confidence, I ask for clarity, and I ask for cohesion as we embark upon this reading to give the Virgo people exactly what they need. All right, thank you so much. We got 3 oracle cards. I was shooting for 1, but anytime we get extra, that's a good thing. So let me read these to you first before I look them up in the booklet, right? So the first one we have is Flower of Life, Divine Creativity and Manifestation. By the way, this is the Isis Oracle deck. This is probably my favorite oracle. Okay, so you got the Flower of Life, and then you have Divine Destiny, the Path of the Divine Warrior. Okay, and then we have Lady of the Stars, Priestess of Sirius. So what I'll do right now is look these up really quickly, and we're going to see what the underlying message is of this reading that we're about to embark on really soon. Give me just 1 second, you guys. Take a sip of water, get comfortable, do what you gotta do. Okay, so the Flower of Life says, you are entering a fertile period of your life. Focus on your innate creativity and how potent this is becoming and watch it rapidly grow. You are guided to think of yourself as a creative being and to surrender your control over how things will manifest and instead allow them to do so. Don't resist change. Instead, flow and let it happen. Now is the time for your blossoming. I love that. Okay, let's get into the next one really quickly. We want to jump right into the tarot reading. I know that's what you guys are here for, but we don't want to miss out on this good stuff. All right, so Divine Destiny is up next. What's this one saying? This one says, the Divine Warrior guides you to your divine destiny. The Divine Warrior energy exists within men and women as the inner propulsion to continue with a worthy path, even during times of difficulty. When faced with a challenge, a true warrior will summon more of him or herself to the cause. It might be more wisdom, focus, intelligence, and surrender into the divine. The warrior within has greater inner resourcefulness and determination. This part of you will lead you to spiritual success. I love that. Again, right? I love all of these. And let's get into the last one. All right, so we have the Lady of the Stars, page 93, last one. Let's see what this one says. This one says, Sirius is a celestial goddess, a star of unconditional love and wisdom, and an extremely high vibration. It brings deep soul awakening, spiritual gifts, and a high capacity for divine service. Lady of the Stars is also an empowerment of all other oracles in this deck. She tells you to pay attention because something significant is taking place right now. So, as it pertains to these first oracle cards you guys have right now, I get the feeling of some kind of new chapter opening up for the Virgo people. Maybe it's some new kind of enthusiasm you have for your life or you have of the future that is really ringing right now. It's saying, okay, you know what? I got my energy back. I did my recharging thing. And now I feel like the confidence I have is different, right? Or the confidence I have is stronger. And I want other people to see that because there's something I have to say. There's something that I have to do that I feel like I'm ready to do now. Okay, so we're going to get into your actual tarot reading. And we're going to see if there's any hurdles in your way, if there's any opportunities in your way, or anything as it pertains to health, wealth, love, and destiny in general. All right, thank you so much, Spirit. What do we have for the beautiful Virgo people? Thank you so much. Perfect. The first one we have is the Ace of Pentacles. We love to see it. Okay, let me stop saying that, but I genuinely do love to see this starting your reading off for the month of September. Specifically because you guys are that Pentacle energy. You guys are that that grounded earth energy that seeks to have some kind of validation or proof of I'm doing this right? I need a signpost. I need a marker to tell me that what I'm working on, what I'm doing is worthwhile. So with this Ace of Pentacles, I get the feeling of some of you guys may be taking your finances a little more seriously, right? Maybe you're starting to invest. Maybe you're starting to budget. Maybe you're starting to save. Maybe you're getting to a place where you can begin to do those things, right? I also get the feeling of some of you going for new opportunities, especially financially, especially opportunities that dictate your self-worth, right? The things that we're doing this month, or the way we're feeling coming into the month, is making us feel a little bit more wealthy, right? A little bit more adamant about the things that we want, so that we get it, right? So that we ask for it. What's next for the beautiful Virgo people? All right, we had 2 cards that fall out. We have the Fool card. So definitely, I feel like you guys are entering a new cycle. And when I say new cycle, we're always entering a new cycle. Every day we wake up, we are entering a new cycle. But when I say this, I mean, there's a feeling of maybe I was tired, right? Because right before the Fool card is the World card. So it's talking about closing out a cycle. And after we close out cycles, we're typically burnt out, right? We typically went through so much stuff. We learned so much, right? But it's like my body needed to rest. But since we have the Fool card here, it's this feeling of I got new energy about me, right? I got a new vibe about me, or I just feel a little bit more brighter, and I really want to move forward. I really want to go ahead. So already beginning the first week of September and into the middle of September, we're getting this feeling of I have more vitality, you know, in my toolbox to be able to use. Right after that, we have the 4 of Wands. So you guys might be getting in contact with people around you, right? Some of you might be getting married. If so, congratulations. Some of you might be attending parties. Some of you just might have even more opportunities to network with people, to get closer to people. This could be a new relationship, but there's this feeling of I'm signing up for events, right? Or I'm a part of events, or I'm hosting events. And in those events, I feel ready to handle whatever comes my way. And I know we're in the middle of COVID season, right? So a lot of us are still staying at home. So maybe this is Zoom events that you're attending or contemplating attending. But within those, it's like this feeling of I want to get back in, right? I want to step back into reality. I want to start meeting new people, and I want to start sharing myself with other people so I can see what we have to collaborate with each other. Let's continue. All right, we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man talks about suspension and sacrifice. So this one gives me the feeling of okay, let me reword that. A lot of times Virgo energy is known for being this nervous kind of energy, of being this energy that pays attention to the fine details, right? And they want those things to be right. And that's the feeling I'm getting with this Hanged Man. It's this feeling of things aren't as smooth as I want them to be, or things aren't as right as I want them to be. It's not the right time that I am looking for. But I get the feeling that if you're feeling held up by anything, if you're feeling like you don't want to move because there are some things that you need to iron out, that is very valid, right? That is very valid, because I still get this feeling of forward movement. I still get this feeling of a flower blooming in and of itself, but before it can begin to kind of burst its spores out so it can begin to reproduce and recreate. Maybe it's only mushrooms that does that, right? I don't know. But before it begins to kind of share its spores and grow in other locations, there's this feeling of, I need to make sure the soil that I'm planted in is fertile enough. So with this Hanged Man, it gives me the feeling of, after you have kind of stepped into this feeling of confidence and kind of showing yourself a little bit more, you get to see what is missing or what's working. And from that space, you can begin to reevaluate life, right? Begin to reevaluate what you've been through and what you're about to go through in this new cycle, and you're taking a step back, right? And I just want to remind you guys that your rest is important, right? And this world will make you feel like you always have to constantly be improving, that you constantly have to be in your highest mind, reaching for your highest self. But sometimes you need to sit down, and sometimes you need to really grasp what's going on before you can move forward. And that's the energy that I'm getting with this Hanged Man. And in order to do that, there's this need to be suspended in time and space, right? To be a little frustrated with how long things seem to be taking, or it's this feeling of, I have this energy, but I can't seem to move forward. But God and Spirit is really giving me the feeling of, there's something that you need to understand. There's a new kind of habit you need to adopt, right? There's a new job you need to have. There's a new outlook that you need to have. And as soon as you adopt that, then I'll allow you to move forward. But this suspension that you're feeling, this frustration that you're feeling with moving slowly, is for your highest benefit. Thank you so much. All right. So the next card we have, they actually fell on the ground. The next card that you have is the Star, and with that came the Three of Cups. So the Star card is in the heart of your reading, right? So there's this feeling of hope, and Virgo people, I feel so good with you because I'm a Virgo rising, right? So everything I tell you guys is like, okay, so what does it mean for me? But am I a bit too excited? I hope you guys accept this energy, right? I feel good about this reading. But with the Star card, I get this feeling of hope, right? I get this feeling of definitely seeking out that spiritual guidance that's always available to you. But there's this feeling of, I'm a little bit more serious about moving forward. I'm a little bit more serious about what I dream and what I wish for. So not only am I wishing for it and affirming it, right? Like waking up and saying, thank you, God, I'm so successful. Thank you, God, I'm so successful. But this is, I believe that. I believe everything that I affirm to myself, so much so that I am willing to get up and do those things that will make me successful, right? It's putting that action with your words that I'm getting with you, Virgo people. I love that. It's like the sun. The sun card is not out here, but I'm getting sun card energy. As we continue, the next card right after that is the Three of Cups. So I definitely, and it comes right under the Four of Wands, which I should definitely point out. So both of these cards talk about our community. Both of these cards talk about the connection that we have with the people in our lives. So Virgo people, I get the feeling like, I've been getting this for a lot of other signs as well, but there's this feeling of, you've been in the house for too long. And in the house, I mean that metaphorically, because maybe you got to stay at home, right? We got a lot of different things going on right now, so it's a little confusing for everybody. But there's this feeling of, okay, you probably ducked off for a little too long, right? Now you're starting to get a little restless. Now you want to check back in with your family, check back in with your friends, be a part of events, adapt with the way in which the world is moving, so that you can feel like your feet are firmly planted on the ground. And with the Star card being in the heart of your reading, there's a feeling of, this has come through some deep meditation, some deep reflection, some reevaluation that you've taken. It's like I'm taking my situation really seriously, right? And there are certain things that I'm missing, or not necessarily, I don't want to say that, right? I don't want to say missing, but there are certain things that I know I could have if I trust my guiding energies a little bit more. If I trusted myself a little bit more, I know I would reach for these things. So this month is really about trusting yourself and trusting whatever God or Spirit or whoever you believe in is, trusting in them, so that when you pray to them and ask for wealth and ask for success, you're reaching for those things. You're saying, I know that it's mine, so let me go ahead and do it. Let me go ahead and claim it. I'm not going to wait, right? But there's this feeling of connecting back in with your people. If you've been feeling a little lonely, there's this feeling of, with this Three of Cups, of finding like-minded individuals just by reaching into yourself and finding your own tempo, your own beat. This doesn't seem like passive energy, but it doesn't seem like active energy either. It's kind of like a feeling that I'm getting for September. It's like this feeling of, I can have more. Look at that, the Chariot, guys. I'm not making this up. You got the Chariot right after that. The Chariot talks about transportation. Maybe some of you are moving. Maybe some of you are moving metaphorically to new horizons, right? You're seeing things a little bit more differently. You're asking for more. But the lovely thing about the Chariot card, I always liken this to either law enforcement or emergency services. And by that I mean, if it were in the reverse, I would say, oh, this is a police situation. This is a situation where you're being removed from, right? It's not you walking away from a situation, it's somebody removing you from a situation. But since it's in the upright, it's giving me the feeling of some kind of ambulance, right? So it's like somebody or something or some circumstance within your life is kind of picking you up and saying, let's go somewhere that is going to heal you. Let's go somewhere that is going to make you better. Let's go somewhere that will allow you to envision greater things for yourself, right? And I hope you guys are receiving this in the way that I'm putting it down, because I want this to be that kind of energy that gives you the motivation and gives you the adrenaline to move forward, because we have 7 cards down out of 9. And all of them so far is definitely talking about this need to propel yourself forward in your community, within your finances, within your opportunities, and within the way in which you value yourself. You're raising your price is what I'm seeing, Virgo people. Thank you so much. We have our last 2 cards down. The first one's the 9 of Wands in the reverse. Of course, we need some adversity, right? This one just had to fall out in the reverse. And the last one is the 3 of Wands. Okay, an underlying energy before we do that is the 10 of Cups. I feel like I was holding this deck upside down. I was holding this deck upside down, but I feel like everything happens for a reason. And although I was giving you guys all of this positive messaging and all this positive advice, I feel like Spirit was saying, don't forget to speak up for the people who aren't feeling this yet, right? They want to, and they want to claim it, but there's this feeling of insecurity. There's this feeling of imposter syndrome. So I want to touch on that, because all of this stuff is still available to you, of course. So let's start with the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands in the reverse talks about the way in which our courage is tested, the way in which our confidence is tested, that instead of making us protect ourselves and defend ourselves moving forward, kind of like building your armor, this makes you defend yourself in a way that shrinks you, right? Like instead of building a secure and strong wall, we begin to build a prison in front of us. And this 9 of Wands in the reverse gives me a feeling of imposter syndrome. It gives me the feeling of, I haven't felt like this in a while, right? I haven't reached farther than myself in a while. So there's this feeling of, can I even have the audacity to do that, right? Can I even go those places I haven't been before? And the answer is yes, right? With these cards, especially when they come out in the reverse, or especially when a negative card comes out, there's always this need to, instead of explaining the card, give advice for when this energy of this card comes up, how do we deal with it? So with this 9 of Wands in the reverse, there's this feeling of understanding that you are what you do, okay? You are what you say, right? You are what you think. But you have to coalesce all of those together to be that person. Especially with this 9 of Wands, the Wands talks about energy. The 9 of Wands talks about physicality. So there's this feeling like if you feel like you are misplaced, if you feel like you are overstepping your boundaries, that is because you are probably still shrinking in some area of your life. There's some area in your life where you're saying, I can't do that because I can't have the audacity to do that. I've never done that before. Or that's just not how my lifestyle is set up. But with this card, there's this feeling of you have to do that to be that. You can't think you're that and then get upset because you don't see yourself as that. Does that make sense? Let me try to simplify it one more time. When you wake up and you say your prayers, or you go to bed and you dream about who you are or what you want to accomplish, when you wake up, you do those things. Not think about those things, right? Not say those things, but we're doing those things, because when we do those things, we have physical proof of what we say we are. And then we have the 3 of Wands coming right after that. So there's also this feeling of the same thing, of feeling like I'm bursting out of my seams, right? I have outgrown my current limitations, but for some reason or another, I cannot bring myself to step forward. I'm so comfortable in the planning stage. I'm so comfortable in the thought stage, in the fantasizing stage, that implementing what I say I will do is a little bit more tricky. And same thing with this. We're reversing all of these. All of these cards that come out in the reverse, we're flipping them back over, because this is energy that you actively and consciously claim, right? These cards do not dictate your faith. They show you the choices that you have available to you. And we started this reading with very positive energy, but I feel like as you begin to expand, there's going to be some challenges. It's going to feel like it's saying to you, are you sure about this, right? Look at all of these delays that are happening. Are you sure this is the life that you want? Are you sure you're capable of these things? And understand that everything that happens to you is a test, right? So you have the choice, and you have the full control to decide how you're going to handle every situation. And that's the energy that I want you guys to have moving through this month, is connect to your God, connect to your spirit, connect to your ancestors, connect to those people who make you feel whole, and trust them. Trust them enough to do what you guys pray for, to do what you plan on doing, right? So this is confidence in the beginning of September that's moving into action, and there's an even bigger need for you to act because you had these cards in the reverse. And they're trying to trip you up. They're trying to bring you back to a couple months ago. And it's like, nah, I'm good on it, right? So with this Three of Wands, there's this feeling of, I want to move. I want to see new things. I want to be new things. I want to reach for new things. And I want you guys to have the audacity to say that it is yours, right? Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but I promise you it'll feel so much better to take a step forward than it will to stand in place in fright and wonder what would have happened if you took that step, right? So that's the outcome of the month of September for you all. It's this feeling of confidence, of rightness, of synchronicities, and then you're being challenged on those synchronicities. It's saying, how much do you believe in your manifestation potential, right? How much do you believe you can have these things that you swear you deserve, right? And you show your belief by the actions that you put forth into this world, especially in the month of September, okay? So, yeah, that's that. But anyways, underlying energy is the Ten of Cups in the reverse. With this, there's this feeling of this whole reading that I've been getting. It's this feeling of, I feel fulfilled. I feel like they're here. I feel like I have the potential for greater involvement and engagement with my family, with my friends, with my loved ones. There could even be potential for significant relationships. This is about potential in those significant relationships because it's in the reverse. So all of this stuff is still here. But when I see it in the reverse, there's this feeling of, although there's potential, there's a part of myself that feels like it would be easier to write these opportunities off. So again, we're going to flip this card over, okay? The potential is there to strengthen the relationships that you have with your family, your friends, maybe new people that you're meeting, right? Or maybe people that you're with right now. There's an opportunity to add to more wealth, right? But what it depends on is how much you trust God. How much do you trust Spirit? And the amount of trust that you have will come through the amount of work that you are willing to do. Even when you feel like, oh, it's too hard. Oh, I'm not used to this. There's a feeling of rewriting stress, of rewriting nervousness, and seeing stress as something that is propelling you forward, propelling you to reach for something else rather than calling you to shrink into yourself, because we're not doing that this month, Virgo people. You guys want a new stage, and you have one. You definitely have one. Thank you so much. We're going to get 3 of these Rebel Oracle cards, and then that will be the end of your reading. Thank you so much. All right, so the first card you have is You Are Loved. You are here for a reason. Don't fuck it up. Period. Okay, Jessica, relax. The next one says Laugh. Where the fuck is your sense of humor? And the last one says Take a fucking trip. Go see some shit. Do some new things. Talk to people cooler than you. So, beautiful Virgo people, Thank you so much for embarking on this reading with me. That was your reading for the month of September 2020. It's about testing your faith, seeing how far you're willing to go by the actions that you take out on your environment and within yourself this month. So again, thank you so much for embarking on this journey with me for this month. We will speak very soon. Have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your month. And I will be back very soon for you guys. All right, bye-bye.